Hey, Michal, how's it been, man? Hello, hello. Michal, do you hear me?
Hey Yuri,
Hey, Michal.
do you hear me?
Nice to see you. Yeah, all good. Can you hear me as
Hello?
well?
Yeah,
Hello,
yeah, I can
hello.
hear you. Cool.
Yeah, cool. What was that cert?
Uh, Terraform.
Ah, really?
Nothing. Yeah, nothing special.
Is it
But
like what is it? What is it about? Building Terraform code files
uh,
or?
like everything, Terraform Cloud.
Mm,
Using the product. Terraform like syntax, Terraform workflow, working with state, and working with the
mm.
providers.
Oh,
So like overall concept.
and
And
what motivated you to go through the cert? Is it like job related stuff or?
yeah, yeah, yeah. Basically, they pushed us to make the certificate,
Oh, okay.
and I just for me it's the most valuable like Kubernetes ones, the k8gb,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
the rest I took the simplest. I didn't want to spend just time by learning something I'm not using too much, so I
Okay.
used the simplest one. Yeah, yeah,
Got
but
it.
it's not so bad, because if you want to pass it, you have to go through like fixing the state if you lose the state and need to rebuild it or importing stuffs into your state, which are like
Mm,
which is quite interesting or necessary.
no, it sounds practical. Yeah.
Yeah.
And maybe you're also already like, fully established to migrate to crossplane, knowing the Terraform part. So,
Yeah. Perfect. Probably
all
next
right.
time.
Yeah. Yeah. So, let's go through the KGB stuff. I share my
Hmm.
screen, and yeah, I think even if it's just two of us today, we can sort
Yeah.
out some stuff on a backlog and maybe actually diving into some things deeper
Hmm.
than usual, right? So this thing, I just will be moving one by one and we'll sort them out. I think this stuff
Hmm.
is done. So TOC uh, PR
Yeah,
is
yeah, yeah.
sent. Thanks a lot for the review. And yeah, somebody from CNCF gave a thumbs up.
Hmm.
So looks like we done. So
Awesome.
yeah, yeah. So we got a positive review. Yeah, yeah. Positive feedback. All set. Next one. This one I will leave in the backlog probably like to so we can discuss it next time. But the thing is, it looks like the pipelines are failing for a good reason here, but I'm not sure which one because they're failing consistently. The overall
Hmm.
problem with the pipelines that they're providing too many false positive right now, and
Hmm.
like you don't know when the rate is red. And in this case, something is failing. As I mentioned, like some investigation needed. If I will have time, I'll try to jump on it. And overall, like it would be cool to fix the pipelines.
Hmm.
Uh, that apparently they are like unstable in multiple cases, and that's annoying, right? Even for automated PRs from my bots, we are getting from time to time the failed status, which is totally
Hmm.
not like the real case. It's not a real
Yeah.
regression. Yeah, so I will also leave Azure full Azure support for next one when the MBCP guys will join. Roadmap cleanup is overall activity, right? So you'll need to. Well, actually, it worth to discuss. I will make like copy. I will make a copy of this one, not a removal, not a copy paste, so like it will be like constantly around. And the migration plan, I'll do the same. So because they're highly connected, right? So like if you want to put the k8gb large migration on a roadmap, how does it look like? So you are the best
Yeah,
maintainer like who knows the
basically,
stuff here.
I'm
Yeah,
sorry with that, but I didn't have absolutely time to touch that.
yeah, totally understandable.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because it's not because we basically did like a production updates, and as well there was this Terraform stuff, so I didn't have time
Yeah.
to touch that at all. The good is that whatever progress the k8gb we did is that it's done on Helm chart side. It's out of the code. So there
Mhm.
is no difference between k8gb Lite and like the core k8gb which we have now. This is like important because I'm still will put the k8gb Lite into Helm chart, like encapsulate. So
Yeah, that's cool. So like installation interface will not change, right? And
yeah, yeah,
what about operational one? So uh, if I recall correctly, we will not have any more special GCLB CRD, right? It will be ingress
yeah,
only as a first start, like
yeah, yeah, yeah,
until we implement more, source
yeah.
providers or whatever we call them. Okay, okay. Well, that's actually great. Uh, so when you have time, if you can, like, super briefly create this issue, like, with a bullet points, just, what will be required to validate, like,
Yeah.
from IC perspective, from testing perspective, and I will be happy to also try to find some time for the testing of it, right? And whatever will be needed uh, for the validation to, well, and I think it will be like. Apart from overall, like, better code architecture and CRD management, let's say, and overall layout, it will also automatically will fix the pipelines, if I remember correctly, right?
Mhm.
Yeah,
That's
so like,
true.
yeah,
Um,
so that's overall cool stuff. Like, so we can just, shortcut some situation, like, instead of debugging the current ones, just switch to new reliable ones and these kind of things.
mhm. Okay.
Yeah, and it's like a kind of no rush thing, but it would be cool like to make a kind of incremental, gradual progress, and yeah, slowly getting the new setup working and getting adopted and unlock a lot of stuff. Yeah. Uh, so please let me know if you need like any help with some initial stages of this like description or anything blocking you
Mhm.
or otherwise, yeah. Let's just create a plan and then let's try to attack like this plan step by step.
Mhm.
I think we have a pretty good apart from the test automation, we have a good capability to test it in real environments, all right, like in AppSci and MBCP folks, Millennium MBCP guys. I also keen to help. So yeah, I think like we need to benefit from the community coverage, and yeah, we can speed the migration
Yeah.
from an end-to-end test perspective. Sounds good.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's quite a lot of work, but yeah, I will see what I
Yeah,
can
so
do
so yeah, so I mean, the
practically.
first step, like, please just describe like this lot of work, like step by step, and you will try to parallelize this work, right? And
Yeah.
make up some plan, and maybe even put it on the roadmap, so it will be like visible and addressable. And yeah, the no even actually needed, just to understand better the scope of work. Yeah,
Yeah.
because currently it's kind of in the air. I roughly understand it, but definitely like as the most precise knowledge is currently is in your head. So yeah, please share, please share.
Okay.
Yeah. Uh, yeah. So there is interesting stuff. There is new community member. I think his name is Alexander, and he's very interested in Cloudflare support. And it's not the first time, right? You remember some other guys were asking, but we never had a confidence that we will, even when we implement it, we will be able to test it, right? So that's pretty much why nobody ever touched this part of the code. So we have this guy. He's kindly he's both interested and willing to test whenever we are ready. So my plan is that I will prepare some the PR with external DNS support, right? Maybe some like a Helm values propagation, and we will be able to give the community member to test stuff out. So yeah, so that was that. So that's a rough plan. No idea when I will be able to jump on it, but some weekend ahead, something as usual. And yeah, you might have a Cloudflare support. It might be cool new feature to get into the project. I assume like more and more folks are using Cloudflare for any kind of DNS stuff, so it's becoming pretty popular. Yeah, and ideally, it would be cool to like finalize the Azure one in a foreseeable future, and also Vitter's PRs. So, but for Vitter's PRs, we need to reproduce like deterministically what is failing within the pipelines. It's not super clear from a GitHub Actions logs or something what is happening. You remember I was pinging you in a Slack for like some weekend. Obviously synchronously, I wasn't expecting you to answer, but. I was like trying to debug it quickly. It looked like it failed with a kind of reasonable parallel test. I disabled the parallelization. It didn't help, but obviously, like in another pipelines, you have a parallel test green. So it's either some race condition. It's but in this case, it's apparently kind of deterministic. So deterministic failure, right? So it always fails, but it's not yet clear why. So yeah. If you have any high level ideas, like or at least just a hint, so that would
Yeah,
be
I
cool.
remember there were some tests like were wrong because there was still waiting for something and it timeouted. And I think I fixed couple of bugs, but these bugs were like on the side of the test. Yeah, it would be best to push this KGB right stuff and see
Yeah,
how it works there.
consolidate on on a newer code base, right? So
Yeah,
like yeah,
yeah.
but in this case, like if we evaluate, like let's actually try to we have some time left. Uh, Practically, right? So we have a Helm chart change. We have new SIG. We what do we have in this PR? We have a configuration propagation of this RFC, just new values, right? So, well, just it's very important configuration, but there is no code change. Where I'm getting with this stuff is that you mentioned that even with a k8gb Lite, you'll have roughly the same Helm chart, right? So you'll be able to replace controller, and the rest of like external DNS, core DNS, all that stuff will be
This would stay
yeah,
same.
yes, they will stay intact. So it looks like theoretically, right? So this kind of configuration style PR will also work with k8gb Live, correct?
Would be.
Yeah. So, so that actually might be like a cool trick to perform. Well, here we don't have a green result, right? But if we rebase this PR, we create like another version of this PR with these new values, with the new KGB light, and we'll see how pipeline behave, and like validate the stuff. That might be kind of thing to try out that interface is satisfied and this kind of thing. It's a little bit brittle, I would say, like kind of a little bit shaky because we are going to change two things, but gradually, whatever comes first, this PR got merged, and or if it is postponed, we can use this PR for additional kind of testing, and that's the scenarios that KGB Lite will work even like with additional shared modifications and interface will stay intact, this kind of stuff. But that's just the possible idea. Yeah. All right. Yeah. But we really need to have a plan here. So on a sequential migration step. So looking forward to it. And ideally, yeah, we can jump on it like when we get a larger group. We need to sort out. So currently we have like a vague mess, right? What we are going to support, like this milestone or another one. We need a full revamp, I guess. So maybe like, are we going to put KGB Lite in 1.0? It would be like this part of the roadmap or anything, like to create at least some kind of plan for the versioning, because currently it looks like random to be honest. Yeah. So this requires kind of clean up. I looked at it like during the TOC review stuff, and yeah, it looks like something is there, but it's quite not under good maintenance, I would say. So yeah, that's something also to look at. But anyway, low-hanging fruits, I think Cloudflare support, theoretically, like if you go through the pipelines, merging the Viter stuff, and yeah, let's sort out the KGB Lite migration plan, and yeah, and it will directly affect the roadmap.
Okay.
Make sense?
Okay. Oh. Good.
All right. All right. So I think that's it for today. And yeah, if you don't have any other topics to discuss?
No, basically not. Just currently working on those PRs, which we are opening from our side. And yeah, will be just to mention that there need to be some documentation mentioned, so I will do it regarding the fleet support.
Okay. Can you share me the fleet story? What is happening? That is worth discussion actually.
Yeah. What's going on is there were like two things. One thing was this service monitor stuff. So I don't remember much about it. But second thing is the fleet support. And what is the fleet about? Is that fleet installs, it has some YAML configuration, and in the YAML configuration, it installed the application to the cluster based on the labels. And also you just use some labels for like the selector, and based on that selector, it plays the application on the cluster. So in case of KGB, if you write KGB is equal to true, and pass another labels like HDNS and cluster geotag and X cluster geotags, this is enough for the fleet to take the helm to take the Helm values and place there the chart and start to install. In the fleet object, fleet provides you some like a fleet object which encapsulates Helm values, and you just put there like information for that fleet plus the information you want to override within the Helm values. So you put there the reference to your chart and the overriding of Helm values, which is fine because fleet automatically see the label, have configuration, and based on that, it will install application on that cluster. Super easy. But fleet is also maybe overriding some values, but mainly it uses the fleet object within the globals, values.globals.fleet. It has an object where it injects its own like some properties, some values. You know, in our case, these are the labels. You know, so you can read from that labels from the whole cluster. And because we have a JSON schema, which is too restrictive, you can't install k8gb because if you use invalid values YAML from point of view of schema, the Helm doesn't allow you to install that Helm chart. You know, so schema, and because we have that schema.
So it rejects this, like, you know, non-expected values. So that's kind of clear. What is not clear to me, like how, like assuming we have a Helm chart and fleet does some additional magic, but does it amend, like, you know, Helm values and then it is doing something by embedding or rebuilding Helm chart or
Helm chart itself, it creates, I think at the background, it creates its own Helm chart. You know,
so it sounds like it creates some, like, you know, some kind of meta Helm chart, right? With and mixing up, like, you know, fleet values with the chart values and something like that.
And can do it on the background and start to do it, start to install. And that was the issue. So we were solving it like that. We took the k8gb Helm chart, removed the values JSON, and after removing that file, everything was working, you know. But for each version of k8gb, we have to take this k8gb Helm chart, remove that file, and create like a new chart and pushing it into our internal repo. And we don't want to do it anymore. So that's why we are doing
it. So that's cool. That's pretty valid case, I would say. The only thing that I'm asking, like, to amend this PR with, so it will be not super silent and we will benefit from the situation. Totally understand that it will, like, nobody will be actually explicitly configuring it, but it is cool, like, you know, put the statements that the k8gb support Russia fleet out of the box and it was tested.
We say it's running successfully on the rancher. Why not?
So, like, you know, to
definitely, I will make like a small note, 2 lines. I think it's enough. Just
somewhere in README, so it will be visible, right? Maybe like we have a support matrix somewhere, so somewhere there.
Good.
Oh, okay, Michael. Thank you so much, and have a great rest of your day. Congrats with your certification.
Thanks. Thanks, Jerry. See you. Bye.
Cheers. Bye.
Ciao.